Only email your mailing list. This is super duper important. We're going to show you in this video how to create tags and workflows to ensure that you are only sending emails out to people who have opted in to receive mass email campaigns from you. This is the law. It's very, very important that you are not emailing anyone unless you have their express opted in permission, or at the very least implied permission to be able to send them mass emails. If you get high bounce rates, high spam report rates, you will get your sending domain suspended forever. You can literally lose the ability to ever send emails from your sending domain ever again if you reach a certain complaint rate in your email sending. And this doesn't matter which sending platform or software you're using. This is now a global matter to protect people's data and privacy under various sending legislations. Now, you also want to make sure that you are sending out your emails to only people who have opted in, so that if anyone was to ever report you to the email police, that is a different kind of organization or entity depending on the country that you are in. But people now can report you to various government agencies in your country if they believe that you have emailed them without their permission. So by turning on opt-ins, by making sure that people have chosen to agree to be on your mailing list, you are also ensuring that you are meeting compliance regulations and to ensure that you will get yourself out of hot water if anyone ever was to report you. So to do this, there's a couple of things that we're always going to do. Now, the first one is we're always going to make sure every single time that we have in place an opt-in. So this is, for instance, this is going to be an opt-in form usually inside TekMatix. This is a form that people fill in when, for instance, they choose to opt into one of your lead magnets. This is why lead magnets are so important, because they basically fill in a form. They give you their email address in exchange for whatever it is that they're giving away. So not only are lead magnets important for growing your email list, they're important because they actually become records that that person chose to opt in. Now, what we also might add to that opt-in form is what's called a checkbox that they have agreed to receive communication from you. Okay, so they agree to receive comms from you. Basically, setting up these checkboxes inside TekMatix is super, super simple, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. There are other training videos on how to create forms, so do go and search for form creation. This will take you into more detail, but I am going to give you a very, very quick demo on that right now. The other thing that you're doing behind the scenes, right? So this is one way. The next way that you are making sure that people have opted into your list is we are going to be using tags or tagging. And this is when somebody fills in that form, you're going to tell the system to then tag them with mailing list. This is a tag that you create inside the system. It's basically like sticking a label or a post-it note on the head of each person in your contact list, saying to the system, this person has the tag mailing list or mail list, okay, whatever you want to use, but I recommend it's mail list or mailing list. What this will then do is it's actually going to create what's called a smart list for you. Okay, so a smart list, I'm going to walk you through all of this in this video. Okay, it's going to be a full tutorial and making sure you get this right, because this is so important today. Okay, so when we create a smart list, basically this is like a group of people. A segment is also another word that's used in the marketing world. A segment or a group of your contact list that contain or have that tag. Okay, smart list, which you're going to call mailing list, right? That's the name you're going to give this list, and it's going to basically contain everyone who has that particular tag. Okay, everyone who has the mailing list tag. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to give you an example of how you create an opt-in form that has a checkbox that they agree to your terms of service. I'm then going to show you how you can create a tag behind the scenes so that they are tagged with mailing lists, so that you can then go on and create a smart list that will automatically update with people on your mailing list. This means that every time you go to send a mass email in the future, you're simply going to say, send this email to my mailing list. Going to keep you out of hot water, hopefully, at the very least is going to give you defense mechanisms if anyone was to report you. So always be sending to people who have opted in. I'm also, as part of this part here, how to tag people, I'm going to be showing you how to do this in workflows going forward, because any workflow that you create in the future, this is an automation, you're going to want to make sure that every single workflow in the future where people are opting in, so if they're buying something from you, if they are getting something for free from you, if they're opting into a webinar, whatever it is that they are giving you their email address, you are going to make sure that you add the tag mailing list to that workflow. Okay, again, I'm going to show you that in this demonstration tutorial now. Okay, this is the overview. Please feel free to take a photo of this now and or download this. This is really important for you to know. Let's start with creating an opt-in form. This could be joining a free webinar. It could be opting into some kind of free lead magnet, whatever it might be. Let's go and do a form example. Now, by the way, forms is one of the many ways that you might collect someone's email address, but it's the most simple one. So that's the only demo I'm going to use today. Let's go into websites and funnels. Websites and funnels is where you are going to find your form builder. So click on forms, click on form builder, and we're going to create a form. Now, we do have lots and lots of templates that you can use that have been pre-created for you, but I'm going to start one from scratch just to show you how simple this needs to be. Let's press create start from scratch, and we are now going to create a really simple opt-in form. Let's just call this, I don't know, join my mailing list. So you might get some basic pre-data in here, and in this add elements section up here, you have preset data that you can collect by dragging and dropping any of these elements, everything from contact information, a button, collecting payments, collecting demographic information such as where people live, like lines of text that you might want people to input. You can even have drop down selection boxes or check boxes that you can fill in. You can also even add the capture box, so people, I'm not a robot, you can have that check in there so that you can protect your inbox from spam bots. And you can also, the very important one that we're going to be doing today, have the T's and C's checkbox, like the example you see here. And here's some more cool things. You can even add file upload sections over here, as well as signature boxes too. But let's just make this a simple form that is going to collect the most basic contact information. Now, unless you need any of these other details, I would strongly recommend that most data forms, particularly if these are just leads, only have first name and email address. Literally, why? Think of yourself. What kind of information do you want to give to people? As little as possible, right? The more data you're trying to collect from people, the more barriers that you're creating for them to opt in. So I'm just going to give this form a name, opt-in form. I don't know, maybe it's to join my newsletter, okay, or my newsletter community. Maybe it's your free lead magnet thingy. I don't know. There's lots more training on forms, but at this particular point in time, I just want to show you what we're doing to collect people's info. This bit here, first name, we want to make sure that that is required. So we click on the first name section and we can make that required. Why? Because when we send them emails, we want to be able to say hi first name. Yep. Email address definitely needs to be required. And then here where you've got the consent box, this is where be aware of the terms and language that you need to use in your country. But this is where you're going to be making sure that you check your compliance regulations, but it's where you're going to say something like, I agree to receive communication from, and then company name or personal name. Okay, so for instance, I might put my name in here. Now, what this will do is when somebody checks this box, it's actually going to date and time stamp this opt-in in the client record. So if this person that I'm sending an email to did go and report me to the email police and say, you know, Sarah has been sending me emails and I never agreed to receive emails from her, I can actually just take a screenshot from the client record and say, well, actually you did on the 5:22 p.m. on 24th of January 2025, right? This is going to be really, really clear to that moderator that they did actually, in fact, opt in, and boom, we're all A-OK, baby, and can go back to drinking pina coladas, right? So we've created our basic form. Inside our button options here, this is where we can actually change that from the word button to join mailing list, for instance. It's also where we can change the color of that button and do lots of other fancy things that I will teach you in forms. If you do have a privacy policy or terms of service, you can simply link them here by clicking and highlighting and changing the, the link, the hyperlink in there. Okay, so you can just click on these little three dots and change the hyperlink to your personal privacy policy and terms of service. All right, that's really easy to do. If you don't have those, remove them. And I strongly recommend you go and talk to a lawyer and get them done. If you're based in Australia, I'm very happy to connect you with my personal business protection lawyer who can help you get those sorted. She does give all of my connections a special discount. So do get in touch with me if you would like to get a referral to my business protection lawyer. Right. Now, make sure you always press save at various intervals in building anything online. This is a cloud-based platform like pretty much every single platform in the world today. If your internet cuts out, you may lose all the work that you've done. That's not a TekMatix issue. That is just purely the nature of building things on the cloud. It temporarily holds its place. If you haven't pressed save and your internet falters, your stuff's gone. So please make sure you get a little bit OCD about pressing your save button. Now, what do we have over here? What do we have over here? Well, this is where we have the option to decide what happens when somebody submits the email, when somebody submits the form, okay? This is where we can choose to leave a pop-up message. It's also where we could, for instance, send them to another URL if there's some kind of thank you page you want to send them to. But basically, I normally just have a little pop-up message here that just says, thank you so much, success, your form has been completed, you are now on the mailing list. Or if this was a freebie, I'd put a message here again just saying, success, your freebie has now been emailed to you. Please search your inbox for Sarah at sarahcordner.com. Give it 5 minutes. Don't forget to check your spam. Email me if you haven't got it. All right. So those are a few things that I would do here. Now on form settings, I do recommend that you turn on sticky contact. Why? If this person is already a contact in your system, it will pre-fill their data for you. Anything you can do to make stuff easier for people is good. If you are in a GDPR compliant area, make sure you turn on GDPR compliant font. And I also recommend you turn on the time zone. This will automatically detect where your particular contact is filling in the form from. So it will kind of give you some more data or information behind the scenes. Please note, however, if you have people using VPNs, it will give you the time zone of the location that their VPN says that they're in. So just be aware of that if you turn that on. All right. I'm going to press save on this particular form. Now, bear in mind, I could also have added some text to this. This is where, for instance, this text might say, join Sarah's email community or get my free XYZ thing. So you can change the font, you can change the layout, you can change the formatting, blah, 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 blah. If I actually wanted to now go and share this with people, you simply press save. Press save. Oh, sorry, did it too fast. You're going to press integrate. If you want to now go and, share this form, I'm going to just press copy form link. I can go and share that form with anyone by just giving them the link or putting that link on my social media platforms, on my link tree, whatever it might be. However, what I could also do is go and embed that particular form into any web page. So by the by, basically you've created a form. Let's just go back to what we're doing here and what we're talking about here. We are making sure that we are only sending emails to people who have opted into our list. And the best way to get people to opt in is to use some kind of opt-in form. So boom, I've just given you one example of how to do that. Great, we've created a form. We've now got people filling it in. How do we move to the next step? We've also in that form included our checkbox. We now need to make sure that anyone who fills in that form is tagged with the tag mailing list. Okay, so here's the next step. Let's go and do that. Now we've created our form, we've pressed save, and we've pressed save again. We've called this the opt-in form to join my newsletter. Let's always remember what we've named our form. Now, to make sure that everyone who fills this form in is automatically tagged with mailing list, we're going to create a workflow. Go into workflows, create a new workflow, top right. There are lots of pre-made recipes up here for you, FYI, lots of pre-made templates, but we're going to press start from scratch over here. And all we're going to do here is simply call this tag mailing list. Okay, opted into my newsletter. So if this was a free lead magnet you were giving away, you would obviously call this opted into my XYZ PDF, opted into my free webinar, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you're using this title up here for you to know what it is that they've opted in for. But the trigger that fires off this workflow, this is what we mean by a trigger. Think of a trigger like firing the trigger on a gun. What fires off this workflow? It's going to be that they simply filled in a form, okay? So click on add a new trigger. In the search bar, type in form, and we're going to select a form has been submitted because they've submitted a form. Now we've got to tell the system what form was submitted. So press add filters, press select, and we're going to tell the system the form is, and there is our join my newsletter opt-in form. Ta-da! Cool. We can even change the name that we're going to see on our admin side here. So opted into newsletter. That's just a note to self, by the way. So we can see here now what fires off this. They have filled in, the form is join my newsletter. Boom. So now we have told the system that when somebody fills in that opt-in form, now what happens? So you see here now, we're going to follow the path. We're going to tell the system we want to tag them with the tag mailing list. So in this plus button, we're telling the system, now let's add an action. We're going to tag them with mailing list. You can see there's add a contact tab. You can also just type in tag, and we're going to add a contact tag. The tag is going to be mailing list. Now, once you have created a tag, it will be forever in your system. The first time you do this, there's going to be no tag there. Make sure it's mailing list, and now press add new tag. This tag now will exist in your system. Okay, this step here is just note to self. So I'm going to put mailing list, and there's our tag mailing list. We will now use this for the rest of time to tag people with this tag. We're going to select this tag, whatever they buy from us, whenever someone gives us an email address, we're going to tag them with mailing list. And behind the scenes, this will start building up what's called a smart list, a list of your contacts who you can mass mail. Okay, we're going to press save. And boom, there we have it. We've now triggered this workflow because they've opted in. They've checked the box that we can mail list them. We're going to tag the mailing list. And the other thing I would recommend doing just first before you do the tag is we want to just double make sure that they are being added as a contact to your system. Now, TekMatix will do this automatically, but I personally just like to double reinforce and ensure that they are definitely being added as a contact. So this is just a double backup for me. When we press the add an action, I'm just always press create a contact, add a field, and we're telling the system what data we're going to pull from the form that they filled in to create that contact as a contact record in our system. So we should have here their first name. There we go, because we collected their first name in the form, didn't we? And this is going to be the value. Oh, let me just cut this. You're going to press this little tag. You're telling the system the field inside the form that we called first name. We're going to press this little tag and type in contact first name. What this is basically doing is it's telling the system to match that form entry to the first name field inside the record, inside the system. If that doesn't make sense to you, just follow what's on your screen right now and you're going to be doing it correctly. Now, the other thing that we collected in that form was the email address. So we're just going to tell the system, make sure that where we said email address on the form, that we're connecting that to email address data field inside the overall system. So let's press add field, and we're going to go and find email address and press this tag button again. We're going to find the contacts email, and that's all you need to do because that's the only data we collected. Okay, press save. Now what we've got here, let's review this again. Let's press save. Remember, we're building this on the cloud. We're going to be obsessed about pressing save. Trigger is they filled in the form. We've made them a contact in the system, and we've tagged them with mailing list. Woohoo. Now there's so many other things that we could do in this. I am not going to go into that depth in this stage. This is now perfectly sufficient for you to now go and press publish and press save. You have now started your process for ensuring that everyone who opts into your stuff is made a contact and been given the tag for you to compliantly, I hope so, email them. Cool. So let's go back to our overall steps. We've created an opt-in form. We've added a checkbox that they agree to receive comms from you so you can cover your butt. You have created a workflow which ensures that they're tagged with mailing list. And I'm even going to add in there, let's do add as a contact and add as mailing list, because any workflow that you now create in the future for the rest of time, make sure that you add contact tag and mailing list tag. Yes? Yes. All right. Now, here's the final step. Now we're going to create a smart list, and it's called a smart list because from now on, anytime somebody is given the tag mailing list, this segmented list will automatically update with the new contacts. How good is that? So let's do this final step together. Make sure you've pressed saved on your workflow. Let's go back to workflows. And now we're going to actually go and create a smart list. In contacts, on your main menu, we're going to click on smart lists and manage smart lists. Now we are going to create a new smart list. Okay, let's press settings. Oh, why can't I add a new smart list? 1 second. Smart lists. Okay, sorry, my apologies. We need to actually create a filter. So we're going to go into contacts, smart lists, and let's go to our filters, more filters option. Okay, more filters. And we're going to search for the tag is, and then we're going to go and find mailing list. We're saying to the system, there it is. Because we created that tag earlier in a workflow, it now exists inside our system. So we're saying to this, anyone who has the tag mailing list, we're going to press apply, and we're going to save this as a smart list, and this is going to be called our mailing list. We only ever have to create this once. Let's press save. Now, because nobody in our system yet has been added to our database, we don't have anyone in this smart list. But if, for instance, I'm going to go and manually add a tag to somebody in here. Let me go and find myself. Right, let's go find Sarah Cordiner. There she is. I'm going to just manually add this mailing list tag to Sarah. So when I go to her contact record, scroll down. So you might like to do this to yourself so that you're on your own mailing list. I'm going to go down to the tag section in Sarah's client record, tag mailing list, and that we don't need to save anything. It will automatically save itself for you inside the contact record here. If I now go back to the contacts dashboard, back, and now I click on mailing list, ta-da, Sarah has now been automatically added to the mailing list because she has the tag mail list. Now, let me show you what happens if I fill this form in. I'm going to fill this in with a different email address. Okay, so I might call myself Dave, all right? I'm going to call this Dave testing at testingmail.com. Just completely making this up. All right, join mailing list. So now somebody's filled in this form. Thank you for completing this form. Let's go back to your TekMatix account. Let's do a refresh. I did turn that workflow on, I believe. It may take a couple of minutes just for this to load. So let's just give it a refresh and hopefully Dave is there. There he is. Ba-bam. So my friends, that is how you create a mailing list segment so that you're only emailing people who have opted into your list. Once you have set this up, you know your smart list will always be updated with that tag. When you then go to send emails, you're going to select the mail list segment to send that email to. Now, let me just show you where that is. There are other videos on how to send a email from TekMatix, but let's go into Email Builder. In fact, I'm just going to go straight to campaigns because I just want to send an email right now. Let's press send a new email using one of my templates. And we're going to find our master template. Master template. Oh, have I not got a master? I think it was... Oh, sorry, I know why. Choose a template. Most recent. Oh, I know why. This is actually sending from another account. Right, let me just press a blank. Let me just press blank. All right, let's do a blank one. I just want to show you where you now choose mailing list when you send an email. Okay, so I've got a blank email over here. Let's pull some text over. Hi. Oops, where am I? There I go. Hi, custom values, contact, first name. Send the email, blah, 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 blah. Here's some information for you, blah, 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 love from me. Okay, we're going to press send or schedule. And let's pretend I want to send the email right now. Make sure the from is your account email and your name, your subject line, blah, blah, blah. Now, instead of sending to everybody, we're going to only send to a specific smart list. And we're going to then press the add button to choose what list we're sending them to. And ta-da, there's our mailing list. And obviously I've only got 2 contacts on there in this pretend account, but now we know that we're only sending this email to people who have opted in, protecting your sending domain, keeping you compliant and out of trouble. Remember, if you need any help at all setting any of this stuff up, click on the purple question mark bottom right hand side of your screen. Click on the chat icon right here, and that will give you live chat support. Alternatively, go to the TekMatix website, click on book a call and hire a techspert. And from hire a techspert, somewhere on the page, your page may look a little different because we are updating our website at the moment. This is where for just $50, you can get one of the techsperts to get on a Zoom call with you, take over your screen and get all of this set up properly for you to ensure that you are compliant. This is really important. I'm telling you now, is well worth $50 to get right from the beginning so that you are never going to find yourself in email compliance trouble. Happy teching.